The Most Interesting Man in the World is one of the most successful ad campaigns of the 21st century, skyrocketing sales of Dos Equis and becoming an internet meme in its own right. Behind these humorous spots lie some valuable life lessons. Sadly, they are lessons that are being forgotten in today's discussions about self-improvement and masculinity. So in today's video, we're going to analyze the most interesting man in the world, find out just why he is so interesting, and how you could make your life more interesting just like him. It's going to be a potent antidote to much of the advice you see out there for men. The character of the most interesting man in the world was created by an ad agency and developed further by the actor Jonathan Goldsmith. In the ads, we hear of his daring exploits and accomplishments. The most interesting man in the world is a true polymath. His achievements and experiences come from all areas of life and all four corners of the world. Whether he is catching a marlin, winning an arm wrestling match, or changing foreign policy, he is not limited to just the physical, intellectual, or artistic realms. He is instead a master of them all. As you watch more of these ads, several characteristics of the most interesting man in the world emerge. At the same time, he is charismatic and seductive, flirtatious with danger, cultured and well-traveled, strong yet refined, and the life and soul of the party. The ad agency that created the character described him as a man rich in stories and experiences, much the way the audience hopes to be in the future. Each ad ends with the sign-off, "Stay thirsty, my friends." He is talking about a thirst for life, which we can infer has been his guiding philosophy throughout all these experiences. Although the character of the most interesting man in the world is fictional, he is an amalgamation of several real-life interesting men. He has the adventurous appetite of Ernest Hemingway, the capability of an Olympic athlete, and the Latin lover charm of Fernando Lamas, a personal friend of Goldsmith's, whom he said was an inspiration for the character. You could say the most interesting man in the world is so interesting because of his accomplishments, status, or wisdom. But what truly makes him the most interesting man in the world is instead his experience. It makes sense that the character is played by an older man because he needs to have lived for decades to have gathered all these experiences. In the commercials, we see him doing interesting and exciting things throughout his life. The debonair man who sits in the nightclub surrounded by beautiful women is not interesting for who he is now, but for the things he has done, the things he has seen, and the stories he has to tell. We know that behind the beard and the lines on his face, there is great wisdom and fulfillment. We want to be the most interesting man in the world, not just to tell his stories, but to see what he's seen and to feel what he has felt. His life is unique and breaks the mold of society's mediocre expectations. Nothing about the most interesting man in the world is 9 to 5, humdrum or prudent. He has lived wildly, surely has the scars to show for it, and represents a rebellious aching for freedom that exists in all of us. The most interesting man is a strong antidote to the way many men are living their lives today, and especially men who are focused on self-improvement and bettering themselves. Much of the advice out there on how to become a successful man tells us to hyper-focus on work and the gym and eliminate all distractions. We are told to go on a dopamine detox, turn on monk mode, and even disappear from society altogether. But we are not meant to live as monks, nor exist in isolation. A daily grind of working 12 hours a day, going to the gym, and eating the same meal-prepped meals will produce tangible results in some fields. But in many cases, where does this lead to for young men? This is where we get the term gym cell, a man whose entire life revolves around the gym. At the same time, we have the finance bros, young men who have allowed their careers to become their entire personality. The most interesting man in the world would never make these mistakes. He knows there is more to life than that. He understands the importance of experience, novelty, and adventure. The majority of men are not interesting because they have no variety in their lives. So few men and women have genuine hobbies and passions that they pursue. They are afraid to seek adventure, take risks, and put experience over comfort. To become an interesting person, you must become interested in life. That's what the actor Jonathan Goldsmith himself said is the secret. I can say with certainty that to be interesting, you have to be interested. You can watch the parade that is life and live vicariously through others, as many do. Or you can get in and participate in your own journey, and the best time to go for broke is when you're already there. When I try and think of a modern, real-life example of a most interesting man in the world, Tim Ferriss comes to mind. Although he is known for his best-selling business and self-development books, Ferriss has made clever use of his free time to create a life that is fulfilling and rich with experiences. He is the first American in history to hold a Guinness World Record in tango. He is a Chinese kickboxing champion, speaks 5 languages, and is a political asylum seeker. So instead of just reading self-improvement books, read the biographies of interesting men like Leonardo da Vinci, Mozart, and Winston Churchill, and imagine how could you emulate their lives in some way. Now when you look at the lives of Tim Ferriss, Ernest Hemingway, and of course, the fictional most interesting man in the world, you might think, how on earth could I even begin to make my life as interesting as theirs? The best thing you can do right now is to begin a new hobby. Perhaps you learn a new instrument, a language, or a martial art. Then, once a month, set aside some time to do something out of the ordinary. Perhaps this is a skydive, taking a supercar around a racetrack, or a quick trip to a new city. For me, my new experience in June will be going to a shooting range for the first time. You know, America and all that. Imagine you're on a date with a woman and she tells you she plays guitar, and last weekend she took a trip spontaneously to the Great Smoky Mountains. Before you can even picture what she looks like, this woman is instantly more attractive and appealing than the woman who has no hobbies and hasn't left the state in 3 years. The same works for us men. We must seek to squeeze the most pleasure, enjoyment, and fulfillment out of life. For most of us, we have many decades left to do this, but so easily can these decades pass us by if we allow ourselves to become the mere passengers of fate. Sometimes to fulfill your potential, you need the guidance of a mentor. If you like the lifestyle that I present in my videos and you've learned something from my channel, I want to help you here. That's why I have decided to open up my calendar and accept one-on-one coaching students. I want to help you improve your life and create the most gentlemanly version of yourself, whether that's with your style, etiquette, or hobbies and activities. Whatever age you are, whatever stage of life you're at, and however you feel about yourself now, you can book yourself some time with me using the link in the description. I'm very excited to get to know you, learn what your hopes and ambitions are, and help you achieve them. I currently have over 75,000 subscribers on this channel, and it has been the honor of my life to play a role in the lives of so many men. But the limitations of YouTube mean I can never create a video specifically tailored to you. Fortunately, that's where the one-on-one coaching sessions come in. So please do use the link in the description to book some time with me. Gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed today's video and you are feeling inspired to go out and live the most interesting life you can. While daily routines and habits are important, don't forget to go out there and have the experiences and create those memories that will serve as the stories you tell for decades to come. To fulfill your potential and create the most interesting life for yourself, don't forget to book some time with me using the link in the description, and I'll speak with you soon.